Welcome to the House and Hammer, built by the nation for the nation. Welcome to Raider Nation News today with breaking news that broke probably within the last 2-3 minutes. Raiders have decided, Mark Davis has decided to fire head coach Antonio Pierce. Before we go any further, you're fired. Those coming on in, y'all know the routine. Those that don't know who I am your resident tribal chief, Hammer.
Acknowledge me.
Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions. Yesterday, we did a press conference. It was the day after our loss to the Los Angeles Chargers. We finished 0-6 in the division for the season. Now, he came to the podium yesterday. He hadn't heard anything, whatever. Now, all of a sudden, again, this happened about 2-3 minutes ago. Antonio Pierce has been fired. Tom Telesco is still the GM of the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I'm thinking about it from the standpoint of how the hell did you wait a day after when we saw certain coaches, coordinators as well, get fired after their games on Sunday? Gerard Mayo being one of those coaches that got fired after his loss this past Sunday. Why wouldn't you have just been like, okay, if you didn't see a future with him, you're done. Instead, you have him step in front of the podium yesterday and say what he said. He gave his props to his players and this, that, and the third. He pretty much was saying the one thing he regrets is not going with his gut on a lot of decisions. And a lot of those decisions were very, very costly throughout the season, including starting Gardner Minshew at the quarterback position for the first couple of weeks of the season. Those coming on in, appreciate y'all coming on in. Again, for those that are just walking in, breaking news, the Raiders have fired now former head coach Antonio Pierce and have retained general manager Tom Telesco. There's a lot to think about. There's a lot to talk about moving forward now. Now that whole search has started again. People did think, including myself yesterday, it was kind of iffy. But at the same time, it was like, I guess he is going to be our head coach for the 2025-2026 season. And damn, realistically, at this point, for those that thought that, including myself, we were.
Wrong.
So now we're going to have to take this up as it goes and see what happens. There's a lot of candidates that have been out there. I'm going to pull up that list from yesterday with certain candidates and coaches that have been interviewed by other teams within the last week. Specifically in New York Jets, because they had gotten rid of Robert Saleh in the middle of the season. But there have already been a lot of names, a lot of people that have been requested for interviews. So let's go through a list of these names. I would love to actually hear from you guys at some point. We are going to open up the vault line most definitely. I absolutely want to hear from you guys today, and we'll be on as long as we possibly can be. You guys see the number in the top right corner. Let's run this shit up today. Again, welcome for those that are coming on in. Breaking news, the Raiders have fired head coach Antonio Pierce. And we got one from Micah. Good God Almighty. I have to highlight the, I got to put in the chat URL. Give me 1 second. We're going to highlight that one and give you a really nice sound effect with that too. Let me find the chat highlight on here. This was very drop of the hat. I got to go live. Shout out to Johnny Kicknuts. He was the first person to message me. I had to check Twitter, of course, to make sure it was legit. But yeah, shout out to Micah. Please tell me this is going to pop up on the screen. There we go. Where's that flex bomb? Salute to you, bro. I really appreciate that. And for some strange reason, the rundown, the RSS ticker is not running right now for whatever strange ass reason. Let's see if we can get it up now. Oh, there it is. And you guys see it, the first thing across the screen. Raiders fire Pierce Telesco to stay as GM. Micah, I appreciate you so much for this $50 banger. This one saved my day. Thanks, Tom and Mark and Hammer, of course. Salute. I appreciate you. We need a hat on because this right here, 2 seconds, guys. Do not go anywhere. And please, again, if you're new in here, do not let it be your last. Hit that subscribe button right now. I will have to add tags. I will have to do all this stuff later on today in terms of the tags, probably adjusting the thumbnail as well. Again, this was very drop of the hat. I was like, Johnny hit me up and I was like, we have to go live. We have to do this. He's like, nobody's on. We're going live. We're doing this right now. So I appreciate everybody that has pulled up. I do not know how many we have in the chat right now. One of the mods, please let me know. Shout out to John B on the $5.
Holla, city of squala.
Great coverage, my guy. Also, great job yesterday with the babyface heels yesterday. This firing makes sense. Who's going to come in on a 1-year deal? Not a damn soul. Again, let me get to NFL.com. I want to see this watch list that they have right now. Hopefully that link is like right there for me. Power rankings. No. NFL. Here we go. GM tracker and latest developments. All right. So here we go. And this is the list as it stands right now. We already knew about Getsy, Scangarello, and James Craig earlier in the season. Pierce is now gone. Fired on January 7th after one full season. Las Vegas previously fired Getsy, Scangarello, Craig on November 3rd, shortly after a blowout loss to the Bengals. Dropped the team to 2-7 on the season. Let me go to, that's returning. All right. So here is a list of names that a lot of these OCs, DCs are already being interviewed for head coaching positions. And I would love to see names in the chat of players that you think, I'm sorry, not players. I apologize. I'm rambling. I'm a little nervous that I did this on a drop, but I appreciate y'all. But a lot of offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators that are potentially interviewing for these head coaching positions. So here's some of the available names and some of the names that have already been out there interviewing. Brian Flores, Aaron Glenn, they're both defensive coordinators. Flores is with the Vikings. Aaron Glenn is with the Lions. You got Ben Johnson, of course. Mike Kafka, the OC for the Giants. Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys head coach. Todd Monken, the Ravens offensive coordinator. Cardinals offensive coordinator Drew Petzing. David Shaw, the former Stanford head coach and current Broncos exec. Arthur Smith, the Steelers offensive coordinator. Anthony Weaver, the Dolphins defensive coordinator. Mike Vrabel, I think we already know he can interview with all the teams he wants. Ultimately, I think he's going to New England at this point in time, and I think the writing was clearly on the wall for that when the Jets decided to try to interview him, knowing the rivalry there between the Patriots and the Jets. The Patriots weren't having any of that, so we shall see, but I'm pretty much... I could put money on this right now. I think Vrabel is going to interview and end up being ultimately the next head coach of the New England Patriots. You have Joe Brady, the Bills offensive coordinator, who's being interviewed. Liam Cohen, the Buccaneers offensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator that we should have had last year. He has done a phenomenal job with the Buccaneers in that offense this past season, or this season currently, rather. Liam Cohen is a guy that we can have as a candidate for the head coaching position. Patrick Graham, no, obviously not for us. He's going to be interviewed. Jacksonville actually requested to interview him. He's not going to be back. This whole coaching staff is gone. So we have a lot of names to take into consideration when it comes to the head coach, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. But hopefully this time it's for the better. They kind of have it, not kind of, they absolutely are doing it the right way this time around. Last year, you went interim to head coach without having a full-time GM. GM, head coach, have that relationship, but always a GM first. Again, Tom Brady is going to be involved in this decision-making as well. He's going to be overseeing a lot of things and have a lot of say in the next movements going forward for our organization. So we have Telesco, who is retained. We have to figure out a head coach. Are we going an offensive-minded head coach? Are we going a defensive-minded head coach? What is the rest of the staff going to be? They did say that they might retain Rob Leonard, and maybe he could potentially be the successor and be the new defensive coordinator, but that all depends on who the next head coach is going to be for the Las Vegas Raiders. So we shall see as that goes on. Robert Saleh is another guy that's been in consideration. He's interviewing with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not see Saleh being a head coach again. He is definitely best off as a defensive coordinator. We saw what he did in terms of building up that defense for the New York Jets, the defense that he built up with the San Francisco 49ers. Saleh is definitely best fit as a defensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is out there. Byron Leftwich is out there, which was a guy that we threw out there a couple of times in the past. Pep Hamilton, longtime NFL assistant coach and former offensive coordinator. And I pretty much gave you a lot of the other names that are out there. Matt Nagy, I don't think that's going to happen. Chiefs, I highly doubt that. Vance Joseph, and I pretty much think that that is a lot of the names right now. They're going to be candidates for these head coaching positions moving forward. So we shall see. Let me get back to the chat. Let me make sure I'm on top of things right now. Salute to, who is this? Salute to Bullyface on the $5.
Holla,
If we don't hire someone who can actually coach with Reed, Harbaugh, or Peyton, it's game over. All three are in the playoffs. Bro, you're not lying. You're not lying. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. I did. R for life. Salute to you. Pete Carroll, we need a proven winner to compete in this division. At 76 years old, do you really think that that's the answer for us? I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I don't think he's the guy that we would do it. And shout out to Can't Get Right. He says there's over 300 in here. Do me a favor, man. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell. Whenever he's live, I'm going to end mine, I guess. Yes, GM first. Yep. Oh, excited to see who we are firing next. Short attention spans. Crosby hiring the next coach too? No, he's not. 73, 76. Still pretty high up there in age as a head coach. And I would be very wary about that. I don't know. Again, I don't know the route that these guys are going to go. I don't know what they're ultimately thinking right now. I think right now that there could be a plan. We've talked about this in terms of Tom Telesco as a GM. Let me fix my seat. There we go. We've talked about Tom Telesco as a GM, and he's not one known to trade up in the draft. We know the type of quarterbacks that he likes. But again, you have somebody that's overseeing him and Tom Brady. What type of decisions do you think he wants? Does he want Shador? Are they going to try to move up for Shador? Are they going to have an offensive coordinator or an offensive-minded genius that's going to help develop this kid real quick to be the face of the franchise and help this team succeed moving forward for years to come? We shall see. Lincoln Riley, potentially. Get off Max. You have no idea how players feel. Ben, we know, some of us know exactly what the deal is. And I said the secret word, and a couple of you guys have said the secret word in the chat.
Fuck you, pay me.
Give him a 4-year deal. Ballpark of 115 to 120. Give him a hefty guaranteed. He'll be here and finish his career here. Bank on it. We had one good year in 30 years now. That's nasty work. Thanks for pushing through this tough season, still bringing out us great content. Raider Nation appreciates you. Ace, I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all in the chat. Because again, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. The growth of the channel doesn't happen without each and every single one of y'all. So thank you guys. Mike Vrabel is going to New England. Like I said, if I'm a betting man, I'm definitely looking at Vrabel to be the head coach of the New England Patriots. Let me fix this. I'm sorry, but that's exactly what it is. I want someone who has the head coach experience at the NFL level. Would you not take the flyer on somebody that has experience, even as a coordinator? That was the one thing when it came to Antonio Pierce. He was a linebacker coach. He was never a coordinator of any way, shape, or form in the NFL. He really didn't go up the correct route or the correct tree as it pertains to coaching and becoming an NFL head coach. I wouldn't mind going with one of these coordinators. Cliff Kingsbury is a guy that could potentially be available at this point in time. Cliff Kingsbury, as you guys know, he was offered the offensive coordinator position. He was in the building, but due to certain talks in terms of the contract and not getting 3 years, it was, see ya, I'm going to Washington. And you see what he has done with one of the top rookies that's potentially a front runner for Rookie of the Year in Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Cliff Kingsbury definitely could be an option as we go along. And we shall see probably within the coming days of players. I don't know why I keep saying that. we could see a list in the coming days of coaches that are going to be interviewed, and then we will definitely talk about that as well. Shout out to Psychedelic on the $20.
Holla, city of squalor.
Really appreciate you. You think Cliff? I think if shout out to Rated Deb. I think if Cliff was brought back in for an interview now, it's not going to be, hey, 2 years. No, they probably offer him as a head coach, probably a 3 or 4 year deal, and at the same time, maybe the Raiders knew what they were doing. They only fired Pierce after 1 year. Now, it was crazy because I thought about it earlier today, early this morning, in terms of, look, Gerard Mayo wasn't even an interim head coach. He was the successor to Bill Belichick. He got fired after 1 year. Now you have a guy in Antonio Pierce that was given the interim tag. He went 5-4. Gets a new GM in Tom Telesco. Solid draft by Tom Telesco, but you got Christian Wilkins in free agency, which was another knockout the park, a guy that we all can agree that we had talked about ad nauseum between him, Chris Jones, and Justin Madubuike as 3 guys in free agency that we absolutely wanted, and we ultimately got Christian Wilkins. Now, you signed Gardner Minshew for whatever reason. You got Luke Getsy, a guy that was fired, pretty much a scapegoat for Chicago, but it doesn't really necessarily look like it was a scapegoat. It looked like it was a culmination of him and Eberflus just being terrible fucking coaches at what they did. You decide to start Gardner Minshew the first couple of games of the season. That shit didn't work out. Horrendous decision making, horrendous turnovers, opportunities that we shot ourselves in the foot, and our opponents just ran with it and didn't look back. So a culmination of everything. Yes, we lost a lot of guys due to injuries and stuff, but the coaching staff played a huge role in what this team was and what the product on the field was this past season. And I think a full year plus the interim for 9 weeks, maybe it was enough. I don't know what just happened. Something just completely closed out on me. Hopefully we're still alive. I don't want to lose you guys right now. I think the chat just completely went away. Are we still here? Give me a thumbs up, guys. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know that we're still live. Loco, that's a great question. And what's funny is that was actually a report that was out there today in terms of something I talked about yesterday, which I wasn't too sure about, but there was another article that was out there in terms of us trading Gardner Minshew and obviously a couple draft picks to move up to number 1 with Tennessee and ultimately get our guy. All right, we're here. All right, I don't know what just happened with the chat. I can't highlight you guys. All of a sudden on Chrome, everything went away. I think I need to close some tabs or something. I'm going to try to do that real quickly. I really apologize for this right now. Again, this was a live that was literally on the fly. When I got the message from Johnny Kicknuts, I was like, all right, we got to do this. Let me try to restart this. Hopefully it doesn't go away. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Yes, we're good. John Gruden is not coming back to the Las Vegas Raiders, so please stop with that name. Do not throw him in there. If anything, I look at 2 teams that he could potentially go to as the next head coach, and that could be the Chicago Bears or the Jacksonville Jaguars. I do not see Mark Davis being that dumb, especially with Tom Brady in the building. Look, Gruden didn't want the combination, the duo of Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski. Why the fuck would Tom Brady want him in the building? Tell me that doesn't make sense. Appreciate the Rated News update for real. Bro, I had to do this for you guys. Come on. Shout out to Rusty Coat on the $10.
Holla, city of squalor.
Exciting times. I hope if we can't get a young, proven coach or go the other way, get Pete Carroll or Doug Peterson. Thanks for popping on, Hammer. Appreciate you, Rusty. Appreciate you for pulling on up. Appreciate you on the $10 super. There's actually one more thing that needs to be removed from the screen because we're not doing what is it? We're not doing the babyface heels right now. This is Raider Nation News Today, and I apologize for that. There it is. Filthy Business Radio Nation got their wish. Yeah, they did. Hire Ben Johnson, sign Justin Fields, and draft a receiver, running back, offensive line, and cornerback slash safety. Ben Johnson would have a legit quarterback that is much more athletic than Goff. Wow. Wow. Hey, look, I think Goff, with the weapons that he has around him, is doing a phenomenal job and has done a phenomenal job the last few years that he's been in Detroit. But that's a really, really that's definitely a nail in the coffin right there. Appreciate you. Charles Woodson's not gonna be a head coach, and shout out to Woodson. Shout out to Seawood, shout out to Woodson Whiskey. Appreciate you. Everything you guys have done for us and the rest of Shieldmore. I'm not saying Peterson. Whoever said Peterson, let them answer that question for you. Brady has no experience as far as doing any team decisions either, but guess what? He's a proven winner with 7 Super Bowl rings to back that up. Mark Davis just was listening to everything his dad was telling him, but it was going in one ear and right out the other. It's okay. I got daddy's money. Not an insult, just a fact of life. Like, his football IQ is not there. Now he finally has somebody in the building with a legit football IQ, and that goes for Tom Telesco as well. Very, very good, very, very respected GM around the NFL. Has made some very, very good decisions when it comes to drafts. Has drafted some very, very good quarterbacks throughout the history of him being a GM as well. So I think it's going to handle itself just fine. Chris, like the general, salute. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. We're at 9870. We are 130 away from 10K. This would be the best time to do it with this breaking news. I appreciate the new people that are in here. And again, if you haven't already, smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush a bell. I'm going to have to move that around too. Again, I haven't even used OBS by itself in a very, very long time and had to just go off the rip and do what we had to do. Because, we have news. We have something to talk about. And I know for a lot of you guys, you're incredibly happy about this. I'm bothered at the fact that they did not do this Sunday night. You put him out there to do a press conference yesterday, and then 24 hours later, he's officially gone. I don't know. Torque. This is going to be a name that is going to be around for a little bit, especially as they are getting ready for the semifinals against Ohio State. But Texas head coach Steve Sarkisian, he's going to be a guy that probably will be interviewed. I don't know if he necessarily wants to leave his situation right now with Texas, but we would have to see. I was reading something about Sark yesterday, and I was just like, I can't see him. I can't imagine him leaving the great situation in Texas right now, but it would be very, very interesting. It would be incredibly, incredibly interesting if Sark even takes a head coaching position in the NFL. We'll see. We shall see. Give him a 5-year deal. Give who a 5-year deal, Brent? Adam, appreciate you. Well, whoever the new coach is, can we please give the guy 4 years to build? Look, I think the building, and salute to you, Caps, I think the building started ultimately with Tom Telesco and the 2024 NFL draft, and I think it's only going to continue to build from there. We do have pieces that we definitely need to keep. There's about 27 players that were on this roster that are going to be set to be free agents. A lot of them I don't see coming back. There are a few I would love to have back. It'll definitely be a matter of who's going to fit the scheme, who's going to fit these systems moving forward. And again, who's going to be the head coach? Who's he bringing along with him as the defensive coordinator, as the offensive coordinator? It's going to be a lot of moving and shaking. And this is not, and I'm sitting here right now, January 7th, 2025, and I'm saying this. This is not a rebuild. There are pieces that are there. This is going to be a retool. Like I said, Telesco's already in place. Let's make the right decisions this time around. Let's be positive. I think a lot of people in here are already feeling a lot better that Antonio Pierce is no longer the head coach. Patrick Graham is gone. I think a lot of people are already happy about that. So let's just be positive. Now we have to focus on this coaching search. Then we look towards the combine. Then the new league year, free agency, trade, see what the possibilities are. And then April, the end of April, we have the draft. Let's take our time with this. Let them do their due diligence and go through this interviewing process with whoever the candidates are. Let's hope that these are candidates that we are familiar with. Let's hope these are candidates that we can sit there, think, evaluate. Is this guy the fit? Is this going to work for us moving forward? Is this going to be the guy that we have for 5 to 10 years and maybe beyond? Is this going to be the continuity and consistency that this organization has needed for over 20 years? Let's hope it is, and hope it's not one of these.
Who the fuck is that guy?
That's all I'm asking for right now. Saleh as a DC is who I want. Saleh is a guy that I would love to have as a defensive coordinator, absolutely. Need to re-sign Spillane and Jacoby. I am here for it. I am here for it with both of them. I would say Jacoby still has a year left on his deal. You give him another 2 years. Spillane, lock him in for 3 years. I've looked at the market value. I think a 3-year anywhere between $21 to $25 million extension, I'm good with. Kuntz, AP's not here anymore. I don't know if Kuntz is going to be back. Chasen, I would love to have him extended as well. We need the right guy this time. Yeah, you're 1,000% right. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. No, way too soon right now. Way too soon right now. I just hope we can start being consistently good. You're preaching to the choir. We'll be back in the situation next year. See you soon. Top 10 draft pick again. Damn, Alex, a wet blanket in the room. Check out Green Grid. Oh, I'm reading one of the. Yeah, I'm not reading that. We keep Hobbs too. Hobbs is going to be. Hobbs is 50-50 right now. I got nothing against the kid. I've really liked him and what he has done. But durability, not always being available for me is the problem for me. Versace is absolutely not happening, Brent. You need to stop. Stop the cap. Triple H as head coach. Heard he's a good lead. Yeah, I can't with y'all. Shout out to Robert Hubbard. Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. Much appreciated. 9872. I suck at math. I think that's 128 away from 10K. How many do we have in the room? Any of my mods? Not sure how I feel about Trayvon. Merrick is going to test the market, and there's probably going to be a lot of teams very much interested in him. He actually has done a really good job. The second half of his 4-year rookie contract, year 3 and year 4, were the years that he stood out. Most specifically, year 3, but this past season as well. Just sending that dude on a lot of different blitzes. The dude is finding himself making plays in the backfield. Coverage wise, it was always iffy, but again, the last 2 years for him, I think his stock has kind of gone up in a sense. There are going to be a lot of teams that will be interested in his services come free agency. Herman, no, it's not. And you know what?
No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. 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 Hell no. 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 I refuse. No. No.
Absolutely not. Not happening. That was a really, really good game, man. Well, I take that back. I was expecting it to be a really, really good game. And salute to Amik Robertson, the little pit bull. Lions handled their business. Are they going to see each other again? I think there's still a good chance that that'll happen. My phone says 163, need to get out on my computer. I appreciate y'all. Stu for head coach. Oh, Lord. Yeah, that'd be great. Salute to Stu. Ed Asco. Vrabel is not coming to the Raiders. Vrabel is going to the New England Patriots. Point blank period, the end. Realistically, there is no need, absolutely no reason for his name to be even mentioned in the chat anymore. He is going to the New England Patriots. Bank on it. No Vrabel, no Diddy, no Pats. Way. Romeo, Matt Patricia, Bill O'Brien, Josh all failed. Facts. Facts. Yeah, I guess they like that. I guess they like that. Ole Miss. That's not Lincoln Riley, is it? That's not Lincoln Riley, is it? True one, I appreciate you. Thank you. Do I see people want Pete Carroll? You just saw Kellen Moore's name thrown in there. Ben Johnson's name is in there. Do you think Ben Johnson wants to come in this situation now and kind of start fresh? That's a possibility. That's right. Riley is at USC. Kiffin is at Ole Miss. Who's our head coach? Who's our head coach? What? What am I missing here? Sark, Flores, Carroll. Wow. Wow. Leaky, I talked about this yesterday, and I said, do you think that he would necessarily want to take another job if the Lions so happen to win the Super Bowl this year? Been bad, but he has also been a guy that has worked his way up, and this is the point that I'm trying to get across. It doesn't necessarily have to be a former head coach that we have in here. Shit, we had a couple of former head coaches on the coaching staff this season, and what did that do for our team? Not a damn thing. We can go with one of these younger guys and bring them in, preferably an offensive-minded coach, an offensive mind that has been somebody that has been talked about on a consistent basis as an offensive coordinator and what he can bring to a table, what he has done to develop certain quarterbacks, if those quarterbacks in fact have been successful. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Titans up doing something. Guys, hold on. Hold on. He just scared the hell out of me. He's good. My fault about that. No Riley's in USC. See if I'm missing anything here, which I don't think I am at this point. Glad PG is gone. That 4-2-5 killed us in the middle of the field. Caps, I've been talking about that for so damn long. 10 times out of 10. Open spot in the middle. The opposing team was getting first downs, was getting 20 plus yards. Where can we apply? Shit, I'll be the offensive coordinator. I actually have both of my old my defensive playbooks and my offensive playbooks, like somewhere in here, like fairly close. Actually, I still have that stuff. Jason Garrett, absolutely not. How many do we have in here, bro? And are either one of my brothers live right now? And for those coming on in, if you're under a rock, just kidding. The news broke probably about a half hour ago at this point. We've been on for, it's happened 35 minutes ago. Former head coach Antonio Pierce.
Yeah! Fire!
He's gone. He gone. So, 147. You know what? Is Graph on right now? Belichick is not coming in. Belichick is locked in for the next 3-4 years. He put together a 400-page manifesto for UNC. Pretty much his son is set to be the successor when he decides to call it quits. So yeah, at this point though, I think I said everything I needed to say. I think that we should wrap this up, and maybe you guys should go on over, cause some trouble in Graphs Live, tell him to pull Hammer in, no Diddy if necessary, and we'll talk more about this over there. But if you haven't already on your way out, do me a favor. Smash some thumbs, hammer that sub, crush the bell to stay up to date with all your Raiders news, rumors, updates, live streams, and reactions in the house that Hammer built by the nation, for the nation. Raider Nation news today. Continue to stay safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. COVID or not, you should always remember to wash your hands and your asses. And as always, win, lose, or tie. Raider Nation till I die. Till next time, y'all. And of course, as always, on my New York peace, love, and positivity. And yeah, you know this.
And when I leave, come together like butt cheeks.
We outro, y'all.